Hi, my name's Sam Price, the Crypto Lifer. I've been doing technical analysis for over 10 years, and today I want to give you a macro analysis of the markets. I want to look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance, Tether dominance, the total market cap of all the cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, the S&P futures, the dollar index, and more to show you what's happening on the macro of these charts so we don't get caught up in the small day-to-day and get emotional trading. First thing I want to look at is the monthly for Bitcoin, and the first thing we have is our first green candle, possibly a reversal. It is just the 6th day of the month. We'll take it one step at a time. But hey, our first week, and we may have our first weekly green candle. The month is looking nice. Can we close a monthly candle like this? If we can, there's a suggestion that this could V-shape recovery all the way right back to the upside. It is a possibility, right? So that's one idea, that maybe you're in this type of falling wedge here, and Bitcoin could break back to the upside right here like this and slowly make a move back to the all-time high or close to it by August. So that's just, one thing on the board that could be, that could be bringing in some bullishness for BTC. So that's the first thing. The monthly looks interesting. Let's go to the weekly, which closes in 2 days. We get a first bullish engulfing candle, and since literally the last time we had a bullish engulfing candle was here. So it'll be the first bullish engulfing candle since June. Is that right? Yes, it's June of 2025, which is crazy if you think about it, right? Actually, no, sorry. September, we had one right there too. And that means you could put the red candle inside of this green candle. I don't like the huge wick here. I'm not a fan of giant wicks from the top side down. I'd like to see us kind of bull through there. It looked way better when we were back above 70,000. I would like us to hold above this monthly support zone right there, which is 70. Let's see here. It's about 67, and then, actually, no, it's the weekly. Sorry. This weekly support zone right here, you can see at about 68, and then we were wicking back above 69. And yeah, right there, see 71,280. That's an area I really wanted to see us close a monthly candle back above. But, we have 25 days or something. We look at the daily, and the daily was looking good. It looked like we had kind of bullishly retested this trend line, and then we made this beautiful flag on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and we broke back to the upside. But the last 2 days, we've coming back down. Is this just a bullish retest yet again? Or is it a real bull trap? And are we starting to do a massive dump to the downside? One thing I started looking at is I changed the parameters. You can put this here, and then you could say it kind of looks like it's starting to make a bit of a rising wedge. It almost looks like we may bounce one more time and then double top and then make a move to the downside. That measured move would be this, and that would take you somewhere down to about $51,000. So right now, it's looking more bearish than bullish. We're really looking to see tonight if the 4 hour can hold, and if the 1 hour. You're really watching to see if the 1 hour can hold the 200 moving average. If it can, it eventually is going to look like it's going to make some type of more of a bear flag and then continue lower, right, as the 21. We were looking for this to flip green and pump back to the upside, but it's looking pretty sketchy right now. So hard to tell whether we're going to get the bounce for Bitcoin or not. Basically, by tomorrow, we'll be able to see whether we got the bounce off this trend line or we started to fall. If we lose the trend line, we're likely going lower, at least coming to test 63 or all the way down to 51,000. If we hold the trend line, there's a chance that we've bottomed out. So very important. You want to watch this. By the end of the weekend, we're going to have a pretty good idea of whether we're taking the overall bigger move down or we got the bounce to the upside. And today is going to be huge too. Today's daily candle close, very, very important. Watch your daily candle close today. You want to make sure you don't lose the trend line. If you close down here, you're likely going lower to 65 and then possibly to test the all-time low again, or this low. Not the all-time low, but this low here inside of the cycle. So it doesn't look amazing. It's really up to the 1 hour right now. You got a lot of pressure on the 1 hour to bounce and not lose the 200 moving average. I have to be honest, it looks a little more bearish than bullish if I had to say what was going to happen. We take a look at Bitcoin dominance, and that had a nice little bounce back to the upside, right, as Bitcoin surged. But overall, it still looks somewhat bearish to me. See, it still looks like it's kind of struggling to stay up. Let's delete everything, look at it clean. But yeah, I still see kind of a shoulder ahead, a right shoulder. It just looks like it's got a high, but it doesn't want to complete a bigger move, right? It looks, to me, more like a kind of a ascending triangle. One thing I will tell you, though, if Bitcoin does surge, the first thing you'll see is this will surge. But this has kind of shoulder head, right shoulder. I don't know. The TA doesn't look too good on it. My trader instinct and what I'm looking for is if it does look like, if we get a reversal, the first thing that's going to reverse is Bitcoin. And then Bitcoin dominance is going to reverse. To me, even though it looks somewhat bearish, it's tight, it's got some greenery, it's oversold, it looks like we're going to get a bounce for Bitcoin dominance to the upside. So it's telling me that we could get a move in Bitcoin. If Bitcoin dominance is going to bounce, it says people are going to be running into Bitcoin. And then we want to look at Tether dominance. Last time we looked at Tether dominance, we wanted to see that it didn't make that flag, right? So let's take a look at the weekly. Sorry. Beautiful support here. You had the inverted head and shoulder. And you can see, of course, in the last few weeks, 7, 8, 10 weeks, we've been pumping in Tether dominance. We have come to a resistance, though, a key area that Tether's been at before. And we're kind of, sloshing around. We're overbought on the stochastics. We're overbought on the RSI. And then the MACD is a little stressed. If you look here, you kind of had bear div that broke down. And this is Bitcoin when it broke out of the flag, right? Interesting. That's like rounded. I mean, it looks like it's bearishly retesting this bottom trend line. So here's the deal. And how my mentor has taught me. If it breaks back inside the pattern, you're looking for the right shoulder, and then you'd have to say it's an inverted and it's going to break out. If it gets rejected here, that's good for Bitcoin. Really want to see that the Tether dominance breaks down here and starts to get rejected by that trend line. If it breaks back inside, not good for Bitcoin, personally. That's not going to be the best look. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? It's not. Let's take a look at the DXY, which has been on a little bit of a move recently. Right? It's like it's been starting to say that it wants to make a bit of a pump. It doesn't make, when I look at it logically with the data that I have, it says that they're going to do quantitative easing and they're pumping money into the market, which tells me that the dollar should be dropping. But it looks at least like we're going to go sideways for the next couple of days until tightness and then a breakout. I don't know. The DXY looks bullish to me. It doesn't, it could pump with Bitcoin. It doesn't mean it has to be bearish for Bitcoin. So I want you to kind of separate that idea. But, the DXY does look bullish. This is what it is. Let's look at gold. We've been trading gold on and off. Let's see if there's another trade for gold. I actually like gold. I entered a trade recently right here. You could see how this is kind of a shoulder ahead, a right shoulder, but if they're going to print this money and the dollar's going to start to kind of if the dollar might pump there in the short term, but over long term, they're going to inject so much money into the market. It tells me that the dollar could pump, it could dump, and the gold could make a nice move. I don't like this head and shoulder. I'll tell you that. It doesn't look amazing. But when I look at the daily, we're getting oversold. We're curving. I don't know. It looks like we're making a higher low here, and consolidation is tight. I see gold getting tighter. It may make a quick stop hunt, but I'm in a long for gold here, and it says it can get to 62.50 somewhere by March 30th. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm sticking to it. Silver looks very similar to me. I can see some sketchiness. It's not 100%. Like the other gold trade recently was better. Silver looks the same to me. I just want to see a surge up, get tight. You could wait to enter a silver trade for it to get a little tighter. Right now, it looks like it could roll over and come out of the pattern. But I'm watching for silver to break out too with gold, as they're going to pump all this money into the market. And they're going to lower the dollar value over time. And then I don't see how that doesn't pump silver and gold. Same thing with the S&P future. A little bit of a rock today with, oil getting tight. So oil gets tight. The Strait of Hormuz, but I really feel like this is just temporary. And I'm looking for this to tighten that. Eventually, you'll get a break up. I think these are great prices for the S&P right now, where you're going to be getting a bounce. So my prediction for the next few weeks, as we come every week and go over this, is that you're going to be here, and eventually, by May, you're going to be in a tight position for a possible breakout. I see the same thing for the NASDAQ, and I don't budge. A lot of more people are really, really bearish. Even the setup looks a little bearish, but I still see a breakout on the NASDAQ. It didn't stop out my idea. It's just wicking around, and I see, once they figure this Strait of Hormuz stuff out, people see they're actually getting escorted. The oil's starting to move. Oil prices kind of come back down. That pump crashes, destabilize. We get a bounce back to the upside. Doesn't look amazing. I get it, but you're just waiting for us to just break through this trend line here. And once you do, we're moving back to the upside on the NASDAQ. So that's your update for gold, silver, the dollar, Bitcoin dominance, Tether dominance, S&P, NASDAQ futures, Bitcoin. And if I left anything out, the total market cap in all of cryptocurrency. Let's see, the total in all of crypto. Total market cap really just depends on Bitcoin. It's the same exact trade as Bitcoin. You're looking for it to bounce and get tight, but even then it could dump. We're basically, it's all about this 1 hour and the 200 moving average. If you flip the 200 on, you'll see we're sitting right on it. Actually, we've slipped below it now on the total market cap, which is actually pretty bearish. Bitcoin's still hugging it, but barely at 68,200. So I'll be honest, it looks like we're rolling over today. You know, it doesn't look amazing. Like we already rolled over there, and then it looks like you're making another bear flag that wants to go further down. I could be wrong, but it's looking a little more bearish than bullish to me in the short term when it comes to the total market cap of cryptocurrencies. So that's your macro output for Bitcoin, your macro update, kind of showing you what I see happening. Some, in between ideas. It's not all perfect, so we'll go from there. But, it basically really need to see what Bitcoin does in the next 2 days. It's going to predict where we go in the next week. It's a very, very strong move here for Bitcoin on the 1 hour 200 moving average. Once we lose that, the bears are going to be pretty much in control, and it looks like we are losing it. We're starting to get that positional push below it. We get the candle close below it. It's not going to be good, folks. So right now there is heavy caution in the market, and where we close today will have a big impact on the rest of the week. And that is your update. Thank you so much for watching my macro technical analysis video every single week. I hope you get a lot out of it. I hope it calms you down and makes you look at the world and the markets from a broader perspective and not get emotional. If you like what I do here and how I do technical analysis, please watch my live stream every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12, and Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. I can't wait to see you there. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. Remember, if you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing. Crypto is life.